of mass organizations with over 340 participating member organizations that represent people in struggle on 5 different continents. Here in colonial Canada, we are building an alliance of militant grassroots organizations to challenge Canadian imperialism and build solidarity across national boundaries and across struggles. I want to start by expressing my earnest and urgent solidarity with the families of these 43 young people. No one should have to face this kind of violence for trying to make the world a better place, and no family should have to endure this kind of suffering because their loved ones opt to struggle for social and economic justice. These normalistas made a commitment to work in solidarity with the exploited and oppressed rural communities, a choice that they should be honored for, not targeted for. But the urgent and pressing reality is that imperialism and its reactionary local representatives do want to make us pay a price whenever we resist the exploitation and oppression that the system foists on us. The objective of this repression is not only to silence those who resist, but also to send a signal to those who might resist and rebel in the future. They want us to accept the system, to engage only in NGO work or other micro-interventions that don't threaten the basic exploitation of capitalism, and to only express ourselves through the phony democracy of bourgeois elections. The disappearance of the 43 Ayotzinapa normalistas is truly tragic but not unique, especially in countries where people are engaged in grassroots struggles against imperialism and reactionary and fascist governments. So I want to give some examples of similar kinds of disappearances that are recent in other parts of the world. So on September 1st, on Mindanao, the southernmost island of the Philippines, paramilitaries linked to the armed forces of the Philippines invaded and occupied a school that also provides training to local, rural, and indigenous people, killing the director of the school and 2 other community leaders. Israel is currently holding hundreds of school-aged children and many more university students and teachers among the more than 5,000 Palestinian prisoners in occupation jails. And in India, schools, teachers, and students are frequently targeted by counterinsurgency operations and the repressive state, including the recent imprisonment of Professor G.N. Sai Baba for more than 14 months. The pattern is that those who resist, and most specifically those who use the education system as a place to teach and learn social justice and liberation, are considered legitimate targets by the violent, fundamentalist, and ruthless forces of imperialism. These forces of repression on the ground are there to protect the material interests of the rich, the Canadian ruling class, and their global peers. And it's certainly no coincidence that Canadian mining companies have major interests in Guerrero, in Mindanao, in the Philippines, where that school was recently invaded, and in the rural areas of India, where repression is most intense. Nor that the Canadian government provides economic backing, military partnerships, and ideological cover for these repressive governments. As ILPS, we stand in solidarity with the 43 students and their families in their courageous quest for truth and justice. And we unite with you in condemning the Canadian state and the RCMP for their backing and collaboration with the criminal organization that's ultimately responsible for this crime, and that's the government of Mexico and its armed forces and police. Justice for the 43 normalistas of Ayotzinapa! Justice for all victims of disappearance and extrajudicial killings. Justice. Long live international solidarity. Long live. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiyanas.